Welcome everyone to episode 33 of the draft, the 33rd episode. That is awesome. I'm so glad to be back. Had to miss last week, but can't wait to talk some racing with the boys. Tino, Phil, as always. Um, we got to catch up on some things too. A couple weeks ago, Tino had won, and that was when Blaney won in New Hampshire. So when the race donated to the Gulf of Maine Lobster Foundation, that was a fitting pick for that race there. They provide a healthier lobster fishery and marine environment there. And then this week, we'll just get right into it, boys. I'm going to lead off with Phil's win because Phil is now half of a race outside of first on Tino as we enter the last five races of the year. So this thing is getting close. It is pretty awesome. My only hope is to win this thing out five races in a row. And you better believe I'm not missing another show. And I'm going to try my damnedest to win five races in a row. So let's do a little recap last week. For me, I'll just start there. Before those cautions came out in stage three, I think I was winning every single bet. It's like a massive day.
Mm,
Just great, great,
yeah.
great, great day. Nailed everything. The cautions start flying. More cautions start flying. Overtimes. Ended up 0.85 units. Barely up. But hey, I will take it. But it was going to be great. Phil, how'd you enjoy the race? How'd you do last week?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and you guys can probably tell, like in our group chat, when you guys are talking about being upset or whatever. If I'm not responding, that means I must be on something different because I was excited for the chaos. You guys were pretty pissed about the caution and Denny getting screwed. But yeah, I had lucked out a little bit. I was cheering for Christopher Bell. So that's why I wasn't responding in our chat there at the end. I had him 9-1. I was cheering for him. And my manufacturer play was Chevy. So I got bailed out at the very, very end after
Yeah.
Bell gets doored and all the chaos unfolds. I got bailed out by Chase Elliott there. So happy with that. I finished up 1.3, so also like not really that great. But I will say this: my favorite bet was an ad, a race day ad to my card. Ty Dillon over Cody Ware. I don't know
Oh
who
yeah.
at DraftKings loves putting out these Cody Ware bets, but if you're listening,
Yeah.
keep them coming. I absolutely love that, and it's hilarious. He was in like 3 or 4 head-to-head matchups, and
I know.
so
I
it was impossible to resist.
I tweeted that one out because the last time we played Ty Dillon, so he was sponsored by DraftKings again, and then the last time he was sponsored by DraftKings, he's winning the matchup all day long, all day. I think it was only by one spot too, but he's winning it all the entire race. Wrecks out at the end. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's got that DraftKings sponsor. Like, you know how much money they just made because he got beat by Cody Ware." It's like, so if that happened again, there would be a lot of tin hats out there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we had to take that. I tweeted that thing out. I bet it, gave it a little while, then I tweeted out into the atmosphere like, "What's going on here? Of course, we're going to take one side of this. It's crazy."
Yeah.
I saved Tino here because Tino is scorching hot right now. This is what are we up to? Six races where you pick the winner?
Yep.
Is it the
Yep.
sixth?
6 races.
Yeah, six. So
Man.
I'll just listen. You take the mic, okay, and just go. Let us know what's going on in your head.
Well, I mean, first off, I got to say thank you to you guys, right? The boys able to have the platform like this show to really, it's helped me get better throughout the year. It's helped me, improve, help me just have an outlet to text you guys midweek and say, I think Chase Elliott is going to win a week before the race has even started or anyone's talking about it. And then I'm able to use that text into my reaction video to showcase, hey, I'm not just picking the guy the race, the day of the race or checking after practice or qualifying and doing it like that. I think that's what means the most to me about this streak I'm on. 6, I feel like I can actually be happy with. 4 or 5, you got to get there, maybe a little luck. But for me, I mean, I talked about Chase during the week, brought him up again during the weekend, and I want everyone who's tuning in, and I appreciate everyone that's tuning in because it's the draft has given me an opportunity to elaborate and expand on certain points that, I feel like I may not be able to on other shows when it comes to picking these outright winners. For me, I can definitely say Chase Elliott was not the fastest car. Chase Elliott did not necessarily deserve the win with all those extra, overtime finishes and Denny Hamlin looking like he had it in the bag. If not Hamlin, Bell catching him towards the end. The Toyotas had that. But if anyone tuned in and saw my reaction video and watched this show last week, how I said Chase Elliott could win that race at Kansas is exactly how it went down. Using the urgency of having to make some strategy, getting 4 tires when everyone else took 2. That's something that happened at New Hampshire, but the inverse when he took no tires. And just to see it play out the way it did was awesome. I mean, going off like that, double overtime, 10th to 1st. I haven't seen really anything like that except for 2 years ago at Kansas when Tyler Reddick did a similar situation there, and I was on that one as well. So tied my personal best. Last year at a 6-race win streak as well. Happen to be at 6 right now, heading into the Roval. Going for history. 7 wins in a row would be great. And it's cool. I wanted to go on a run to close out the year strong. Doing it right now. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and looking forward to, not stopping it. Not stopping at all. Like I want to, why not 11 straight to close it out? Why not 12, 13 next season? Come on.
Let's go. If people are smart, they're taking some notes on what Tino says tonight. But I agree with everything you said. The coolest part about this show is that we just talk about so many different drivers. So there's so many different nuggets and pieces you can take, put it into your own process. You don't need to follow what we say, but hopefully someone that's listening catches something that really sticks with them and helps them out throughout the weekend. We've got a ton of messages this year. It's helped people with whether it's their DFS lineup or their league lineup with their friends or family or things like that, or just having fun listening to the stats and then watching the race and seeing how it plays out and what works and what doesn't work. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Phil, you come down with the victory, though, and this is what matters more than any money in the world. So, congratulations.
Yeah.
A nice victory there.
It was a close one. It was a close one within 10 points, which is for all 3 of us.
Everyone within that. That was awesome. You picked the Chase Elliott Foundation. So love a foundation that helps people live happier, healthier lives. Win the race donated there. And that's what our 32nd different charity we've donated to this year. We got 5 to go. So pretty awesome thing that we're doing here with this show. So I'm just proud of it. And guys, I tweet it out all the time of where we're donating to and everything. If anyone just listens to this show and gives $1, $2, $3, it doesn't even matter, but it all makes a difference. That's why we're trying to raise awareness for all the cool charities that are in the world. If you're new to the show, what we do is start with a race preview with Phil, and then we hop right into the picks. We'll pick one driver from every team on the left. A big 3 is another pick from Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, or Penske. Had a comment on our video last week. So, if you didn't understand how that works, it's only from those 3 teams, a driver you haven't picked yet. Best of the rest can be any team that's not listed on the left there, Trackhouse, some other teams that aren't there. And then wild card can be a driver from any team, whether it's on this board or not, that hasn't been picked yet by yourself. We'll use NASCAR points to score it, and then the winner does pick the charity that we just talked about that win the race donates to. So that's how we do it. Let's jump right into the Charlotte Roval road course. And Phil, I'm going to let you do a little race preview here.
Sure thing. So this is our 6th and final road course of the year. Tad bit different if you're newer to NASCAR. It's a road course within a 1.5-mile Charlotte cookie cutter type track. So it's a 17 turn, 2.32 mile road course. And this is the 3rd race of the round of 12. So this is in fact a cutoff race, which has been for quite some time now. So the Roval has always been an important thing since it's kind of been around. Track stats I find interesting. Okay. They've only been here 7 times. The winner has started on the pole 0 times. The winner has started inside the top 5 once. It was Chase Elliott starting 2nd on the outside pole. But this is the weird one. Starting inside the top 10, 6 of 7 winners started there. So the 6 through 10 starting position is the money spot. Anywhere in there is winning 6 of 7 times. So that's just absolutely weird. and no one's won from starting outside the top 20. 19th, Chase Elliott in 2019 was the furthest back someone started. So pretty weird. Chevy's won 5 of the 7. They've won the last 2 races with AJ Allmendinger, easy for me to say, and Kyle Larson. Toyota and Ford both have 1 each at this racetrack. So if you're a tire fan, a Goodyear fan, it's the same tires we've seen on all the other road courses so far this year. So that's Coda, Mexico City, Sonoma, Chicago, and Watkins Glen. For anyone who's looking to pull stats, this is a 109 lap race. So stage breaks will come 25 laps in stage 1, 25 in stage 2, and 59 in stage 3 to end it. So that's something that I always like to see, is a little bit more in stage 3, create a little bit more strategy and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what I have for us here for this breakdown. So boys, if you have anything to add, now's the time.
No, that's great. I'm glad you mentioned the tires. There's just no new twist here. It's what we've seen all season long. So we should have some good data and speed and things like that. And then, but this is a unique track, as you said. So, being like partially on the oval, then you come back into the road course part of it. I know that's just a minor part of the race, but it's still interesting because you got to have some good top speed there on that straightaway. So, yeah, good stuff. Tino, you got anything you want to add there about the course?
About the course, no, I think Phil handled it beautifully as he always does. But in the chat, a really pressing question here from Keith. Ryan, I'll let you take this one. He asked, can we expect this show to return next season?
Yeah, this show's not going anywhere. let's let's talk about that while I'm feeling confident here. Well, let's talk about that other comment that was just up there as well. We should be on the oval. We should. I mean, look at how that race just ended last week, how exciting it is. I'm not a big fan of late cautions either, overtime, stuff like that. I like when the race kind of plays out as it should. But if a race is going to end like that, let it end like that. Diffie going crazy, just ton of excitement, passes, people rubbing, racing. It was just everything that you want at the end of a race, people going hard. So I don't know. It was fun. And I think that if we were going to the oval for this race, for a cutoff race, after what we just saw at the last oval, I think like spirits and I don't even know what you call it, like the mojo, momentum, whatever. Like it'd just be at an all-time high. Just people would be on cloud 9 as we approach this weekend, and it would be a much bigger event than the Roval. That's just my own opinion. So
No,
I'll
I
get
agree
off
with
of
that.
that.
I also
Yeah.
wanted to say in my race recap from last week, I completely agree. And I think that is exactly the type of NASCAR overtime chaos finish that overtime was intended for. I think in the beginning of this season, it was too much. We were getting NASCAR overtime pretty much every race. It was a long time since we started to see green flag runs to end a race. Then we got that. And honestly, unless correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been a little bit since we saw a NASCAR overtime finish or a NASCAR overtime in general. Like this playoffs has been very strong in terms of whoever was dominating won the race. Like we saw Chase Briscoe, Bristol was a little chaotic, but still, even then we made it strong. Blaney, New Hampshire. My point is, I feel like that was the perfectly executed NASCAR overtime. And yes, there was a surprise winner, but it wasn't because of the overtime, right? Like he took the strategy, took the gamble, and overtime extra laps helped him get there. But I felt like it's not like the winner was screwed because of overtime. The Toyotas were fast all along. Bell, Briscoe were up there. Bubba as well. I feel like everyone deserved to have a shot that were in that top 5. And yeah, it was a good, strong finish. I wanted to harp on that.
Well, I think one thing that helped it is like the late caution didn't come out to make a boring race exciting because the race was exciting all race. It was a great race. There's passing, there was tire fall off, there was different strategy, 2 tires, 4 tires. There was pretty much everything you'd want to see in a race had already happened. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't like when it happens when a race just totally sucks all day and then I'm like, oh, well, we got to make this exciting. Here we go. But we kind of got a little bit of everything. Had it ended on a green flag run, I would have been just as pumped. Sweet race, awesome race. And the way it ended, fine. It ends like that, it ends like that. But I was entertained the entire time, and that's what I thought was really cool about it. What do you think, Phil? Well, I got to hear from everybody now.
It's got a championship potential. You know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah.
he's saying about the rotation for the championship race. I know they're going to be going into it. I think that that's created simply because Kansas is going to find its way to host a championship if this playoff structure continues, which is a whole nother ball wax. But yeah, I mean, it's a great racetrack. It's a lot of fun. And like you said, both of you, it didn't matter how it was going to end. I thought, Tino, the point about this is what overtime was for, like the way this, that's a great comment. Like, it's not for manufactured drama and dog shit races and tracks. It's for natural situations. And then here you go. We got this close quarter racing at the end at a really nice track. So it was a good thing the whole way around. Whether I had Denny or didn't, it was going to be a celebrated race.
Yeah. 3 laps to go, like you said, what it's created for. One man had the balls to take 4 tires, and it worked. So cool. All right, let's get to this race, which will probably not be nearly as exciting, but that's okay because we're gonna watch it because we are NASCAR guys. So let's start with 23-11 here and get right into the draft. I'm gonna pull up the draft board and let's get this thing going. I kind of have a feeling this will be a pretty quick round here with a sweep, but maybe one of you are going to surprise us here. I'll start. I'll go with Tyler Reddick for my pick for 23-11 here. Um, he's one of 4 drivers to have multiple top 3 finishes in the 5 road course races this year. That group of 4 is SVG, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, and then Tyler Reddick, who I just mentioned. So he's in that elite company. I don't know, like, curious to hear what you guys say. I just feel like he's not that, dominant road course guy anymore, but maybe that's just because SVG's there. I don't know, but I just feel like he's like a top 5 potential, but like to win, even if SVG wasn't in the picture, I feel like maybe that's a stretch nowadays. But as far as this team goes, it's Tyler Reddick for me, and it's not even close. I don't want to poo-poo Bubba Wallace if one of you are going to pick him, but if you don't, I got some stuff to say about that. So I'll just jump right to Tino. Tino, who do you got here?
Yeah, going to be Tyler Reddick for me as well. Zach mentioned it as well. Our guy, Team 54 in the chat, Bubba is a road course guy now. It's true. And I would take it one step further and say Bubba Wallace is just a great NASCAR driver at every track now because he needed to improve on the road course stuff. He's done that. He needed to improve on the short tracks. He's done that. We already know he's a super speedway guy and mile and a half guy too. So from that standpoint, I think Bubba has a strong chance this weekend, but Tyler Reddick's my pick, and I honestly do believe he has a chance to win this race if someone can take out SVG. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm against SVG. Anyone else besides him has a chance to win? No, I think this is going to be another domination race from him. But if we see a late race restart and Tyler Reddick has himself in the top 5, I think he'll do whatever it takes because that's what he needs to do, sitting in 11th, minus 29 to the cut line. The hard part about this race as well, with SVG now being in the field, is the fact that he can flip the stages and still win them. Last year, I feel like a major part of this race was the points racing, right? You needed to be in that sort of bubble where we're still seeing it now. I'm looking at the standings where it's Kyle Larson in 3 and 3rd, Denny 4th, Bell 5th, maybe Byron 6th. From that's the point where you can do points racing, flip the stage, and then ultimately have a shot at the end to win it. That's what Kyle Larson did here last year. Bell was involved in that as well. But if you're thinking you have a chance to do that this year and win a stage and stay out, that I just think you're wrong because SVG is just going to continue to do what he does best and lead every lap. So, yeah, Tyler Reddick, I think he's got a chance, but it'll be tough.
Yeah, as we go through the show, there's got to be some other guys other than SVG because it's NASCAR at the end of the day. His car could fail, a tire could fail, or on the road course, like you said, people are trying to make it to the next round. People could get a little too aggressive, or just you could run into some trouble naturally. So, Phil, who do you got here? 23-11.
Yeah, I have to go with Tyler Reddick, and I like what Brian said here. Bubba top 10 is very live. Don't disagree with that. Like, I agree with everything that folks are saying. Bubba's getting better on road courses, but the fact of the matter is, Tyler Reddick, while he is for whatever reason neutered on road courses now, he's not like the way he used to be, just winning everything. 4 for 5 top 10s compared to 1 top 10 for Bubba, 2 top 15s for Bubba. Reddick sneakily is 100% hit rate, finishing inside the top 20. Bubba, 3 for 5. So like he's just better in every category. He starts better. He finishes better. He's third in NASCAR this year, Tyler Reddick, in average finish. Like that's what matters here. So while I could maybe get down with like a longer odd price on Bubba for, the value play there, when it comes to this game that we're playing here, I have to go with the obvious answer, especially, I'm chasing Tino down here, half game back. I can't be different in this particular category. So Tyler Reddick is the pick for me.
Yeah. And Zach, Team 54, I love you. But I mean, like your guy, Team 54, that's a road course guy. Bubba Wallace, not a road course guy. True average running position is 18.01 on roads this year, which slots him 18th in the field of full-time drivers. So he's just a guy, where your guy, Ty Gibbs, road course guy.
That was nicely
So
put. I agree with
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
All right, now let's head to a team where there are no guys, and that's Front Row Motorsports. So bunch of girls. Um, I don't who wants to go first here. Doesn't
I'll
even
go first. I'll
matter.
go first.
Okay, you go first. Tino, who do you got?
I'll go first, and I just wanted to point this out in going first. I'm looking at the average finishes are around there at least, and I'm seeing Todd Gillen 27th, Noah Gregson 28th, Zane Smith. They're all around the same spots there. So to me, it's
The
just
bottom.
yeah, they're all towards the bottom. Who I'm going to be picking is going to be Zane Smith. I think maybe his wall ride expertise from last week, making it just vertical to the track and everything like that, was pretty cool. And I think he's going to want to, get a little bit of revenge from that because he was racing.
I'd like to see him try that here.
Yeah, to give him credit from that standpoint, he was inside the top 10, 15 when that happened. So to have your car be running up against the wall, literally, and you having a strong day, I feel like he's going to want to come out and, just have a strong day again. Not too much analysis from me. I'm sorry, but I just feel like if I'm choosing between him, Todd Gillen, and Noah Gregson, it's got to be Zane Smith. He's been the guy all year long from that team.
Yeah. There's not much else you can say. You are correct there. Phil, I'm going to jump to you. Who do you got? I do not have Zane Smith, if that helps you here.
Yeah. I was fully prepared to just stand up and go to my dartboard literally and say like odd or even between the other two. But you know what? I'm catching fire here with Todd Gillen. That's who I'm going to throw down. Todd Gillen, back-to-back races, finishing inside the top 20. That's good. 3 for 3, finishing inside the top 25. He's got 3 top 20s in the last 6 races. So, general success for that team and for that driver. I would say that a wall ride is not helpful in this scenario. And also heading into the season, if you were to tell me like who's the road course driver in this group, to me it was Todd Gillen, and he's had a little bit of a like regression. It started off pretty well. They actually all did pretty well at COTA, looking at their numbers here. But Todd Gillen started off 10th at COTA, got 7th starting position at Mexico City, and then everything kind of fell apart from there. 22nd place finish. But at the Roval, last time out, or actually the last 3 races for him at the Roval, he's gotten better every single time. 30th, 23rd, 18th. So it's this combination of he's decent enough on road courses. Like we've seen him have success in the past. Progression, relying on their notes for the past, trying to just better themselves. I'm just going to take a swing here and go with Todd Gillen. He's my pick this week.
Yep. That's who I had written down all day. Not because I'm so confident in it, but just everything I looked at, he was just like one slot better than his teammates. His 18th place finish here that you mentioned, that's better than his teammates have ever done here. His true average running position in the 5 road course races this year is 2 spots better than both teammates. So yeah, give me Todd Gilliland here. not much else to say. I liked what you did say though about like heading into the year, he would have been our guy. Probably we thought would do the best on the road. So, at least we got that going for us, I
Why
guess.
is, not to derail us here, but like, I was trying to think about this earlier. Like, is that because McDowell went to Chevy? Like, do you think him and
Well, they have
McDowell kind of
the
like had a good relationship, and now that he's not on the team, like he kind of lost that step? Because I don't
that might be
understand how
it
you'd lose
too.
it.
But they have like the off track stuff going on too.
True.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that affects them or not, but like that's just like an
Yeah.
alternate thought
That's
I
fair.
had.
Good rebuttal.
But the McDowell thing, I mean, that's huge. McDowell went to Spire, he's still killing it on road. So
Yeah.
interesting. All right, let's get to Hendricks. Now we're going to get to some teams here, some big three teams that we're probably going to think are going to win this race. So, or battle with SVG to win the race. I guess that's what we have to say nowadays. Um, Hendrick, Phil, I'm going to let you lead this one off. Who do you got here?
Oh man, this is a tough one to lead off, I think.
All three of these, I think. I think for Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, and Penske, there's quite a few guys we could name here.
I know exactly where I'm going with the other two, and I think the big three as well. But this is the one question mark where I had multiple names written down, so I'm just gonna pick a side, and go with it here. I'm gonna go with William Byron in this one. For me, it was between him and Chase. The back-to-back factor, Chase being locked in. I just, we've seen it time and time again, just kind of taking the foot off the gas, and it makes me a little skeptical. I love the fact that last week, I don't know if it was on Twitter or on the radio or whatever, Byron said like, "Oh, great, we find ourselves in a Hail Mary situation. That's just fucking great." I love that. We saw that with Bell being all disgusted at whatever race that was, and then comes back. I guess it was Bristol, and then he comes back at New Hampshire and gets it done. And William Byron is very solid. He's got in his last two races here a second place, a third place. He's been fast at this racetrack. You look at 2025's races, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. I mean, if I was just comparing him versus Chase, Chase is 3-2 against him head to head. But Willie B, he has a rough finish at Chicago. And I said on my pod this week, if I'm going to take any of these races out of the data set, it's Chicago. So if I'm seeing a blemish of any of these guys and it's the Chicago street course, good. I don't care. 40th place there, throw it the fuck out. But 2nd, 9th, 8th, and 4th are his other finishes. I like that. And he's upset from last week. Going to a racetrack where he's finished top 3 in the last 2 races. I like all of these things. These are check, 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 check. So William Byron is my pick this week, and I'll cross my fingers. We'll see what happens.
I love it. I had Willie B written down all day. So, whoops, I just wrote Willie there, William Byron. So we'll go William Byron here as well. Everything you just said, I love it. I think he's like really good on road courses this season. And in our true average running position that we have on Loop Edge and everywhere, he's sandwiched between SVG and Bell in true average running position on road courses in 2025. So, I mean, he's right there at the top. And it's those three and one other driver that I'll talk about soon that are the only 4 with a true average running position inside the single digits on road courses this season. So, yeah, I was William Byron all day on this one. Tino, who do you got for HMS?
I had another driver in mind. I'll save him, make the board look nice. William Byron was gonna be big 3 for me. Put him in Hendrick's slot now. It was between him and actually Ty Gibbs. I was thinking, so Team 54, sorry, but your boy's out now. I'll give you love at this point, but now everything you guys said, and I do like the fact that they had a terrible run like at Kansas. I was on the William, right? I had Chase, was thinking about a little William Byron action as well. Denny was another one of my picks, but I was just very surprised how much they missed it. Might have been something wrong with their car, but the resurgence at the end, like finished top 10 or at least was there for that overtime. I thought that was very important because they were bad all day, like 15th, 20th with no shot. So to me, that was like very notable to stay in it for that long. And now to be going somewhere where he has the results could be at least a top 5 day.
Kind of funny how this sport works because, yeah, like practice, qualifies 11th, like right there, I kind of knew he was dead. Like when he's good, he qualifies top 5. Like when he's not, he's just kind of not. But then at the end of that race, they did go to his radio. They played it on the broadcast, and like when he went to pit, he's like, "Do you need any change?" He's like, "No, don't change it." Like he
Mhm.
ended up loving that car by the end of the day. So that's a pretty good sign for things to come for him. Maybe when we get to Vegas, maybe they found something at the end there. All right, Tino, why don't we stick with you and you go ahead and lead off JGR here?
Sweet. So this one's going to be Christopher Bell. Kind of a no-brainer based off of his finishes at this track. He did win here in 2022. I was at that race. So that was cool. I don't know if you guys can see. I got a Roval shirt on. Got that while I was there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I am a fan. Like I do enjoy the Roval, but ultimately I do agree. I think it's time to go back next year to the Oval. Second here last year to Kyle Larson with a 6th place average finish, and he's another type of guy where we look at where he's at points wise, right? I think that's very important to keep in mind. 5th plus 44. To me, I just feel like you can take whatever chances or get aggressive more so because you have the Briscoe, Logano, Chastain all battling behind you. So yeah, Christopher Bell, I think he's got a strong chance. I put him in the same category as that William Byron, and Brian did mention it in the chat there. I'll pull that one back up saying Larson's in a comfier points position than Byron is, but we're only talking plus 54 to plus 40. I know that's a 14-point difference, but with how these cars have ran here, I feel like if you just have that prior success, like how Larson did win here last year, but before that, it wasn't as good. So yeah, I just feel like Bell's in that position where he can be aggressive early since he knows they'll probably be in a strong chance to advance.
All right, cool. Phil, who do you got here for JGR?
It's Chris Bell, and it's not even close. I love Christopher Bell this week. I love his top 5. Took him at plus 150 on ESPN. I think it got knocked down a little bit now later in the day, but I like him head to head. And so basically, like pretty much any way, shape, or form, Bell over Larson minus 125 on ESPN. I like that as well because of Larson's struggles. Road course
Larson has the
season,
worst average finish on road courses this year than Cody Ware.
31.0. 31.0. And a driver rating of 60.8. I make a joke a lot, on the pod. Like, I can't bet on anyone with a driver rating in the 60s, especially at head-to-head. And it's just crazy that we're talking about Kyle Larson here. And even at the Roval, he either wins the race or he's mid-pack or in the back. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very strange situation. So Chris Bell, 100% I'm in. He's got to be my pick here. I got him top 5. I got him head-to-head. He's, Tino highlighted his success and his stats. So just wanted to mention those bets.
Awesome. Bell was my pick all day here as well. There's only one dude who's beat SVG on a road course this year. That's that man, Christopher Bell.
Nice.
The only one to do it. And that was at Coda, which feels like 10 years ago now. But he did do it, and he's been awesome all year. I believe he's got 4 top 5s in the 5 road course races. Him and SVG are the only 2 that have that. So, yeah, he's elite on roads this year and great here, like you both said. So give me him. Now we head to Penske. Penske, I think there's a couple different ways you can go. I think there's actually 3 ways you can go here. Perhaps a spoiler alert, but I'm going to go with, at the last road course, we had this little like side bet going, Blaney versus Logano or something like that. But I'm sticking with Ryan Blaney. I just love the speed that I'm seeing from him on the road courses. And, I don't mind. I kind of like the guys that are through to the next round because to me, they're just going to go out there and run their own race. They can be on a race winning strategy or they can be running up front and just, if someone's going to be an asshole, just you can either let them through or not. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you can just kind of be relaxed here and not make any bonehead mistakes or try to be too aggressive and get crazy. I don't think they'll just kind of sit back and relax too much to where we can't get some points here. So I like the guy on this team that won the pole on the last road course we came to. So I love seeing that. And 2 is already through the next round. He can just kind of, run his own race and not worry about things or make desperation calls that could kill his finishing position by the end of the race. So give me Ryan Blaney here. Phil, I'm going to jump right back to you.
Man, I forgot all about that
Sorry.
thing with Watkins Glen. So now you got me seeing ghosts here.
I can't win it. I can't win one of these drafts. So like that's my only victory I've had since, and actually Watkins Glen was my last. Oh no, but then we had what? Sonoma after? I don't know. But roads are the only thing I can apparently win, even if it's petty arguments like that.
Well, I mean, we're right back into the dogfight here because I'm going with Joey Logano. I agree. I agree with your comment about drivers who have won. Chase coming back to back scares me a little bit. He's doing the whole press junket and everything, whatever he's got to do. But Blaney being in a position where this race means absolutely nothing to the rest of the season, he could go out and have fun. So there's something to that for sure. And he's 5 for 7 here, finishing inside the top 10. But Joey Logano is right there with him this season. Joey Logano's had a down year, finishing, on these road courses, and he still has a better average finish than Ryan Blaney this season. His finishes are 24th, 21st, and then he kind of bounced back a little bit, stabilized 11th, 9th, 14th. So he's been hovering around that top 10 spot, which is what I want to see. But at the Roval, he's got 6 top 10s out of 7 races here. And the only one that he missed that top 10, he started on the pole and led 27 laps. He got caught up in something in 2022. So Joey Logano, this is a track that he clearly enjoys. He qualifies well and he capitalizes on that success. And I think that situation is the marching orders for this 22 team this weekend. Right? We need to come off the truck fast, get a top 10 qualifying position, run top 10. We're locked in. That they're not trying to go out and blow anybody's doors off. They're trying to do what they do every time they come to the Roval, which is finish 7th, 8th, 9th, like right in that area. And so I think that if they do that, more times than not, they beat Blaney in that situation. So I'm going to go with Logano. I don't need Tino asking Ryan Blaney about this comment specifically, but and for that, good segue. We'll see who Tino goes with here.
I'm with you here. I bet Logano plus 250 for a top 10, for everything that you said, and he's with that cut line, like he's got to go. So I think they give him the juice, and he's good here anyway. So plus 250 for a top 10. I mean, that was just kind of a mistake opening. And then speaking of mistakes, I mean, SVG's in this race, so whatever. They're just little like fun nibbles that I took, but on Blaney and Logano, both 100-1 to win the race. I just thought that was kind of fun. Blaney did win this race on some last lap shenanigans in the past. Yeah. So, what if he runs that back? But Tino, we need your Penske pick. Is Sean in here tonight? Is he?
I think he got knocked out by the Red Sox tonight. They got.
He
said, "I'm going to go watch the Red Sox," and hasn't come back since they lost.
All right, so you can pick whoever you want here.
Yeah. There's no pressure, no McBride pressure. Yeah. So, oh man, it was such a joy seeing Ryan Blaney's face light up because he knew he was the road course guy when I asked him that question, and being there in person to really, put that video together, see Ryan Blaney beat SVG in one stage, obviously get the pole. I've never been more right in terms of, a little fun argument with my buddy there. But with that being said, I was right about it, put the video together, enjoyed that, celebrated it. And now it's time for me to pick some logs. Joey Logano for the Roval. There's levels as to why I have to go logs here. We see him 8th here last year, in which wasn't good enough to advance. Then it was because of Alex Bowman. 5th the year prior. You guys mentioned him staying out for stage points, I believe, or you mentioned something in 2022. I was at that race, and he did stay out for stage points. I think maybe that was the year before. Either way, he was able to capitalize when doing that strategy, and they need to. Plus 13, the final transfer spot to get into the next round. If he's not racing, to gain points or make up points during the day, I don't know what they're doing. So that's, to me, in a points system that we have going on here for our draft boards, that's what I think really gets me the extra push with Joey Logano, because he is going to be trying to get maximum points throughout the day, no matter what.
Awesome. Yeah, I love Logano, so I mean, I can't. I'm with you guys. So no matter who you picked, Penske, I wouldn't have cared if you picked Austin Cindric there. Honestly, I
I
mean,
did think
dude
about it.
started. He
Yeah.
started fifth here, top 10 both stages, finished the race fourth last year, being very strong. Another dude who's, if you wanted to take another route here for Penske, you go with the guy who just needs to throw an absolute Hail Mary and get to the front and win this race. So if there ever becomes some weird strategy in this race, Cindric needs to do anything and everything possible to win this race and advance to the next round. So, yeah, wouldn't have cared if you did that. We'll go to the big three. I wonder if I'll be different here. I'll start out because I think I might be different here than you guys. I think there's a bunch of different ways you can go. For my big three pick, though, it's been locked in all day, and I'm not changing it, and it's Chase Briscoe.
Ooh.
And I just really like Briscoe on roads this year. Fourth best average finish in those 5 races. I feel like not many people know that just because he's been so strong everywhere else, but so strong, he's just so strong everywhere the whole second half of the year. He's third in my true performance scores on road courses, fourth in true average running position. So this average finish that he has is not fluky. He's not just catching some luck at the end or using some strategy. He's just running up front because he's fast and he's good on road courses. So I fully expect him ready to show up, run in the top 5, and advance to the round of 8. He was even money for a top 10. I took that too. Just thought that was kind of crazy given everything I just said. So give me Chase Briscoe here. And Tino, I'm going to jump back to you.
Well, I gotta always appreciate the analysis our boy puts in the chat, Zach from Team 54. So I'm gonna read it off. Let's see. 27th, 3rd, 3rd, 7th, and 8th. That's Ty Gibbs at road courses. The 27th was from damage from lap 1. If not for the 27th, he'd be ranked easily top 3. Ignore the last Roval finish. Because he had a mechanical failure. My bad. Sorry, lab before I got there. 1 of 5 last season. Okay, also important to note. And he will put the bumper to SVG. True. It's true. And I appreciate that. And I will be picking Chase Elliott. Come on, that's my wait. I've been thinking, I'm like, man, Chase Elliott, he's so good. Hit the mustache. I gotta give you guys. I mean, that was me last week. I mean, I'm still riding that high. 12-1. That's a Jordan shrug. Chase Elliott. People were saying it in the chat. The ability to go and race just for fun. I don't think Chase has been. I don't think how long has it been for him to have a multi-win season and just go out and race a road course? What he does best, what he used to do dominantly, and just have a great time doing it. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying that. One other aspect of the chat I wanted to get to, since I'm talking about it right now, is from Easton. He asked how he's feeling about Hendrick Motorsports championship hopes after Kansas. I'll keep it simple. Definitely better because Chase was able to log himself into the next round. You move on with Chase, Byron, and Larson, I'd assume, after this round. You have to hope that one of them makes it on to the championship 4. I think Chase winning gives them the opportunity to potentially put more than one in, right? So whether that's Byron or Larson, Chase and Larson, Byron, whatever. So I would say better. I would say Hendrick
Well,
Motorsports
Elliott is the one guy that nobody wanted to see get through because Martinsville's in this round. And
Exactly.
he is awesome at Martinsville. So
Hey,
that
I
sucks for everybody that he's
I
going
can
to be
say
there.
this. Byron wins Vegas, Larson wins Talladega. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna bet that. And then Chase Elliott wins Martinsville. I could see that happening. Like that, I can literally see that happening. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Elliott, I think that makes it much stronger. Good question. All right, Phil, how are we rounding out the big 3 here?
Yeah. I was interested in the Ty Gibbs stats there. I guess those numbers are like in his career at road courses. I'm not seeing that like this season. I thought that was this season. I'm seeing 11, 2, 7, and then a couple outside the top 30 for this season. But maybe Zach can help me out there, maybe for later in the wild card. I have Chase Briscoe written down as well.
Oh, sorry. He only has 2 top 10s this year.
Yeah. So I've got Chase Briscoe written down as well. It's just this season has been an awakening for him on road courses. And even at Stewart Haas, he has a top 10 in his career. In 2022, he finished 9th. So for all those reasons that you said, I mean, refresh everyone again, 4th in average finish, 3rd in driver rating in 2025 on road courses. Like, that's Chase Briscoe. What the hell are we talking about here? Just sneaky good here in these 5 races. And at the OG tracks, the last 2 times out, 2nd and 5th, going to the Roval now, back at it. I took him over Ross Chastain -125. Win the race, had that fair at -139. Thought that was pretty solid. So that was on DraftKings.
What was that bet?
Over Briscoe over Ross -125.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I have that too.
I am very interested, or I threw in on that bet earlier today. So very interested in Briscoe overall and happy to have him in my draft board tonight.
Awesome. I think he does have an Xfinity win here too back in the day. So he's good. Bunch of chases there in the big 3. Let's hit it to RFK. We'll go to another Ford team here. And this one, I don't know if this would be a sweep too. I'll start it out here because I think this one's rather easy pick for me. Chris Buescher. And I think most people know by now because we've been in the Gen 7 era since 2022. But in the Gen 7 races, in that time, he's tied with Tyler Reddick with 16 top 10 finishes in the 22 races. That is rock solid. Top 10s here in his first 2 Gen 7 races. 17th last year was not really impressive there. But, I mean, you kind of take the long history here, and then you got guys like Keselowski and Preece on your team, and I'm not really interested in them at this, especially when you go with Buescher's track record there. So I thought Buescher was an easy pick here. Phil, jump right back to you. Who do you got?
Yeah, I am absolutely taking Chris Buescher just because of those top 10 numbers. And he's back at it again this year. 3 of the 5. He's 5 for 5, top 20. Brad Keselowski only has 2 top 20s this year on road courses. Ryan Preece, to me, would be the other option. He's 4 for 5, finishing inside the top 20, but only 1 top 10. So 16.0 average finish for Preece compared to 10.8. So yeah, it's Chris Buescher. I don't want to overthink it. Can't be cute here. I'm trying to get to the top of the board.
Gives us 2 guys on the board that have beaten SVG on a road course, which is nice.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. And then Tino, who do you got here?
It'll be a clean sweep. Shout out to Big Ross, always in the chat. Preece has been sneaky here, like you said. But this year and for this draft, you got to go with the 17. I actually love Buescher in a rebound spot to get a top 10 after not getting one last year. Best price
he deserved that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant last week, but last year, yeah, I got you.
Well, because he had that lousy finish last week. Yeah, everything for him. He's a top 10 guy. -125 is the best I'm seeing right now. So I think we may be. I'm gonna have my eye on that because maybe we get lucky with a bad RFK qualifying and he goes from 20th to 10th. We get a little plus money top 10 on our hands for Buescher. But yeah, you guys said it best. He's the guy when it comes to road courses, and the fact that he didn't get a top 10 here last year is very interesting because I thought he's just been getting I can't imagine him not getting a top 10 at a road course because I feel like we see that happening all the time.
Yeah, you could see some guys that don't typically qualify well go out and qualify okay here, which would then push their top 10 numbers down into the favorites who already have low top 10 numbers. So then maybe Buescher, if he just qualifies average, kind of squeaks out a little bit and you get some plus money top 10 numbers on Buescher. That's definitely one that I would wait on and see. Because at -125, I wouldn't really be that pissed if I missed it. If he goes out and qualifies 5th and it's -175, oh well, didn't get it. But I'd probably wait. Spire, I think, could be another. We'll jump back to Chevy. I think this could be another chalky one, boys. Tino, why don't you go ahead and lead this off for Spire?
Yeah, this is where we give Michael McDowell his props. I will say this, though, looking at the average finishes or just the past results the last 3 years here, 15th last year for McDowell, 32nd, 27th. I'll admit I don't remember if he got into any issues or trouble, wrecks, what may have happened to the car. So let me know in the chat if you guys are more aware than I am. But I mean, that's not really good. Like McDowell's still my pick, and I felt really high like about him going into this one. But I'll admit this is the first time I've sort of checked his stats recently at this track. And that's a 24.7 average finish at the Roval for Michael McDowell. So I'm not quite sure, I guess, what happened here for him, or if he's just not really that strong at this track. But, he's the guy when it comes to road courses for Spire. And, maybe he can turn around. I definitely was expecting him to be in the top 10, throughout this race. So interesting to see that.
I kind of like him more. Like he's my pick as well, and I saw the same things you did, but I kind of like him more in a Chevy with an HMS engine at a track where they absolutely have dominated in the past, and Chevys kind of dominate the road courses. So, um, I mean, no, it's SVG related as well, but HMS. I mean, Elliott's got a few wins here. Larson came out and dominated last year. It's like I don't know. I think I like McDowell better in a Chevy here. Then you just look at the stats from this year. Fifth best in my true performance scores on road courses. Two top tens in the 5 road races. Both of those were top 5, so I think there's a pretty good ceiling there as well. So yeah, give me Michael McDowell. Phil, who do you got?
Yeah, Michael McDowell stinks at this racetrack in his career in 7 starts, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to be scared off by it because of what you just said. Like there is that element of like, well, maybe Chevy can help him at this track.
yeah.
So he's 4 for 5, finishing inside the top 20 on road courses this season. I know that bar is pretty low, but to show you how low it actually is, that is equal to his 2 teammates combined. They each have 2 top 20s. So I can't get cute here. If I was to get cute, I would go with Carson Hocevar. But you mentioned guys qualifying better here that might bump some guys back. He's got an average qualifying position of 8.8 on road courses this season. That is good enough for 3rd in the series. 14.2 average finish, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. Like he's got potential to jump up and have a really good finish. So you combine that with Chevy engine and all that at a track that they've dominated. It's got to be. I cannot take a risk here with somebody like Hocevar.
Wasn't one of McDowell's bad finishes too, where he was leading and it just blew up or whatever? Wasn't he ahead of SVG and then something happened?
That happened this year at
Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the bad finishes there, but yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. And speaking of all in agreement, I mean, I want to lead them all off, but I'm going with Shane Van Gisbergen here because I'm not trying to get too cute in this draft. I'm trying to win 5 in a row, so I want the guy who's won the last 4 road races. So give me SVG here. What else do we need to say? He won 4 of the last 5 road races. If you look at my true performance scores and win the race, he's got a gap from he's first to second, like no other package these guys run or racetrack type they run. So this is just by far and away SVG. Phil, or actually, who's going last here? So Phil, Tino's going last.
Mhm.
So Tino, why don't you go? Then we'll
Mhm.
hop to Phil. I mean, it's SVG though, right?
Yeah, well, it would have been funny if you did like Shane and then for Phil Van and Gisbergen for me. But
Missed opportunity.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
One thing it's SVG. One thing I want to know was something I texted you guys, and that was, and Phil actually asked it too, and rightfully so. Like, is SVG as much of a lock as he normally is on other, or at least as much as we've seen him on road courses? And I was thinking the same thing. And then I'm glad I stopped thinking about it because that's where I would spiral and try to come up with other people that could beat him. And that's just not the case. I feel like we continuously, at least this season, and I was at Watkins Glen, I was there in the middle of it where we were trying to pull out narratives or other drivers that should be better than him because of their experience there. And it just didn't happen. And I feel like if it didn't happen at Watkins Glen, it's not going to happen here at the Roval. The other part about it is, okay, wait a second. Maybe the oval portion of the Roval is what could mess him up. He definitely won't be as fast there on that, one turn than everyone else. And he got a top 10 last weekend at Kansas. Sure, he wasn't running up there all day, but the fact that a finish is a finish, and he was able to get that done. So to me, I have to pick him outright. There's a very limited plus money out there I'm seeing. I think BetMGM has the best line right now. Find that out for you guys. Might as well. We're on the show. Plus 105 on Caesars. Sorry, Caesars, and BetMGM does have him at plus 100. Same thing with FanDuel. So, I mean, to me, this is if you want to put it in NFL terms, this is like the best team in the Bills playing the Saints, and to get plus money on the Bills versus the Saints, you'd hammer that. So I think that's my thought process here with SVG.
Yeah, we got him. I got him 135 when it first opened. So put a couple units on that, and then I just have those sprinkles on 100 to 1 just for shits and gigs, I guess. But totally agree. You're just gonna feel like if you didn't have him on your card the last 4 times, you're just watching the race like, oh man, why not? Why didn't I do that? So, all right, Phil, who do you got here?
SVG. And I'm actually really impressed that you're writing his full name out there, because I would never be able to do that. I would take the easy way out and say SVG. But the point that you just made, I got him at plus 120. He's on ESPN right now at plus 110. So that's just a smidge better than those other books you mentioned, Tino, for anyone who's looking to get into it. But that exact point of why try to be in contrarian when these stats that he has put down this year on road courses are like unmatched on like any certain like data set of tracks. You can't see anybody better. So I don't know why you'd want to torture yourself on Sunday and try to go against him and try to be different here. It doesn't make sense. And Big Ross's comment of SVG has gained significantly more on the other drivers this year than they have on him. Great point. Mm-hmm. Like we're thinking like they're going to be able to like, catch him and he's going to a track where he's only been here one time and he finished 7th. Doesn't matter. He has learned, how this car works on the style that he likes to drive. So we're spending way too much time talking about a clean sweep here, but it's, a good reminder to anyone who's thinking about being different. And if he goes out and gets wrecked or whatever, fine. But this is happiness insurance paying for a bet on SVG. And in this draft, I could never not take him.
I think you meant the part of if he gets wrecked, and I saw a lot of comments like, oh, playoff drivers could punt him, like, Reddick. I said it too. If Reddick gets there, you move out of the way. The biggest part about that is they have to be close enough to be able to wreck him. The past, what have we seen? 10-second plus leads this guy's putting on. So I think I know, like Phil said, we're talking about him more than I would have thought, but I'm glad that we are, because the past few road course races, it was, how can it not be SVG? And I'm glad, and I'm going to go right back, and it's still on the screen. I'm glad. SVG has gained significantly more on the other drivers this year than they have on them. Top comment of the night, in my opinion, from Big Ross, as he always does. Yeah.
I'll give a weird comment here. It's too bad that he's not the same size as Ross, because I would just switch them in each other's fire suits and have SVG get Ross to the next round.
Whoa, that would be
just don't take your helmet off all pre-race. Yeah, don't talk to anyone.
God, dude, I love that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I do have so Easton asked a good question. Are we concerned for SVG that this track is half oval? I wouldn't. I don't think it is. It half? I thought it was like a 10th oval, 20% oval. It's like one turn is oval, right? It's just that 3 and 4. So if someone, I think I think like you see people like when you see it on TV, it kind of looks like you're looking at like half the track, like when they're riding around it or something. But I do have it on it's mostly road. Mostly road. I guess I would say it is more oval than I thought. Maybe 35% oval, in my opinion. Either way, an oval like that is like, like you're saying though, it's not like you're, in an oval you have 4 turns. Like you're just not going to get that. So like the momentum that you could get running in oval, you don't get really there. You just have to have a faster car if you want to dive in there. Yeah, and my response to that question or comment would be, he got a top 10 last weekend on an oval. Like, this is the guy that we're like, oh, he can't finish on ovals. he just proved it last week. And maybe it wasn't his strongest performance for a top 10 or anything like that. If you want to pull that, that's fair. But he did SVG, the driver that is dominating on road courses, that's been hearing stuff from all the critics, just now is going into another road course with maybe a little bit momentum, right? Like you got to, oh man, I'm feeling great. I just got a top 10 on an oval. Now you bring me to a road course. I think that's, yeah.
Awesome. All right. We're going to the wild card round where Tino is going to have the advantage here. Somehow the leader in this gets the advantage in the last round. Bill, my pick's not changing.
Hammer. Okay.
I don't know if you want to go first. You want me to go first, but we got to let Tino go last. How do you want to handle it?
It doesn't matter. I know who I'm picking, so if it's the same as you, so be it.
All right. I've had this written down all day. Chase Elliott.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So kind of gets some nice leverage on Tino here. But this pick right here gives my draft tonight the top 6 in average finish on road courses in 2025. Only SVG, Bell, and Elliott have at least 3 top 5 finishes in the 5 road races in 2025. It gives me both drivers in this draft who are through to the next round and don't need to do anything stupid. And we said it earlier as well. HMS brings dominant cars to this track. So we've seen it with Elliott multiple times. We've seen it with Kyle Larson as recent as last year. We talked about Byron, second and third the last 2 times out. Bowman is good here, I believe. I'll look at that, but I feel like we don't ever, we just kind of poo-poo Bowman more times than not. Bowman here has, well, he finished 38th last time, but that's not indicative of what it is.
DQ.
8th, 10th, 8th, 2nd, 4th. So all top 10s until whatever happened last year where he finished dead last. So
DQ last year, so it was still up there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was up there. Okay. Duh. So yeah, so he's top 10 every time. So HMS brings the heat at Charlotte Roval every time. And maybe it's like a flop lag type thing. Like I was on, well, I guess no, they did win last week. They shouldn't have won last week, but they did. Shout out Tino. But I don't know, man. Yeah, give me Chase Elliott here. Don't need to spend too much time on it. He's awesome at roads and awesome here. Phil, who do you got?
Yeah, no, it's hurting me that you had him written down and you took him there because he was, if I was going to waffle off of my pick, that's probably where I was going to go to kind of neutralize Tino here. I hate that he has the hammer because he could do the same, but I am going to go with a guy that I have had written down for this track since the start of the 2025 season. What season is it right now? What time of year is it right now?
It's fall.
It's Allmendinger, AJ Allmendinger. Let's fucking go. We're going with a guy who is number 1 average finish in the next gen car at this racetrack. He has a victory, a 4th place, and a 6th place. You know where that 6th place put him last year? Ahead of SVG. You know where he finished in the 2024 Xfinity race? 1 spot ahead of SVG in 2nd place. This is a driver. It's a horse for the course. And I said it, I laid it out on my podcast this week. This is why come COTA next year, we're going to be saying, well, kind of like AJ. And then he's going to let us down. And then Watkins Glen will perk up a little bit, right? And then it gets to the Roval, and we're like, where did this come from? Because he let us down all year, and then boom, he's back. And now he's in the top of our minds next road course. This is his track. So, I mean, those numbers, you look at what he's done this year, it's not particularly great. Like, and that's exactly what I'm saying. 1 top 10 on these road courses this year, 4 top 20s, a 15.6 average finish. That's not usually turning heads, but it's this track that has me in on AJ Allmendinger. And if it burns me, it burns me. But like Zach's comment, AJ picked Gibbs. That's fine. I can't make the argument for Gibbs like I can for AJ. So give me Fall Mendinger this time of year.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's before you said that, I was just like, man, are we really gonna get through the show and a road course show and no one picks Allmendinger? So there he goes. Now Tino has some serious leverage spots he could go with here. Tino, how are you been a master of this all year? I think that's why you got the half race lead on Phil and a billion race lead on me. So how you handling this?
Well, definitely, you know, going last, being the closer definitely helps. You know, I also attribute a lot of my speed and winning this season to my mustache. You guys haven't figured it out. It's the mustache that really, you know, sets the tone. I think, you know, I hearing that from Phil that he couldn't have put that any better. I think, you know, if there's any more stalling I could do, I'll bring up this comment here from the boy Devontae in the chat, and you know he brings up a lot of good points, right? Like Kyle Busch finishes on road courses in 2025, 5th, 37th, 5th, 10th, 22nd. Two bad finishes, sure, got wrecked, but the speed has been really good. 3 out of the 5 races, he has had a top 5 speed car. But I mean, it's Allmendinger. Come on. I had to go
No,
AJ Allmendinger.
you
I had
had me.
Wow.
I thought
come
you were
on. I
going
wasn't
with
thinking
Bush.
Bush. Come on, come
Wow.
on, come on. I thought that was I thought that was a good smoke screen.
You did. You smoke screen me.
But no,
Damn.
I couldn't. To me, I was trying to honestly figure out ways to like not like I don't know. I was thinking in my mind all during the day. This was like, who could replace AJ Allmendinger for me? And then when I sit down and pull out my notes, it's the dinger on the top of every stat: speed rating, just finishes, everything at the Roval. And I can't go into this. Phil really set it up for success for himself, and I was tip of the cap. So I'm looking at our board now. I love Chase Elliott versus Chase Briscoe, and I love Zane Smith against Todd Gilliland. Let's
Oh,
ride. Let's
come
ride.
on.
Let's
You
ride.
love that? Okay.
Let's see it.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
let's see it.
To Devontae's point, Kyle Busch, great on roads. Everything he said is correct.
Yeah.
In our true performance scores on Win the Race, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 best. And shout out to Team 54. I mean, I have Ty Gibbs fourth best true performance on roads this year. So everything he says is right. And if I didn't pick Chase Elliott at the end there, Ty Gibbs was my second choice
Oh.
as far as wild card goes. So Ty almost made the board tonight, and had one of these guys had him, and it was a good leverage piece, I might have went there. So this will be a fun one, guys. I thought with road courses sometimes it gets a little chalky, but we got some nice pivot pieces off each other here, so it'll be fun to track this weekend. Um, yeah. Thank you everyone for, commenting all night long. Does anyone have any last minute comments they want to throw out there? Tino, you see anything you could pull up?
For sure. Always appreciate the comments in the chat. Easton had some great ones tonight, one of which include him saying last weekend at Kansas, he ended up having a first place through 4th and 6th place in his fantasy live lineup. Nice. Very good work there, Easton. Any chance you guys would do a fantasy live NASCAR league for next season that we could all join? I mean, I'll just go off and say, could be something we're considering. Maybe some alternate ways you guys could get involved coming along potentially that we could think about with this sort of mindset. So I love the question. Definitely be an off
Yeah.
season
Either
operation.
fantasy live or a one and done or something. We'll come up with something fun and do a couple off season shows and come up with some good ideas. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. So appreciate that. Lee saying vote for Pedro. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And hey, shout out to Team 54 too. You know, we threw Ty Gibbs out there. You know, he was floating. He had a chance on the board.
Yeah.
I'll admit too, he was locked in for my big 3 until I was given the Chase Elliott back out of there. So great show. I appreciate him saying that. Everyone in the comments, if you got any more, like Ryan said, throw them in now. Brian, can't wait for the Vegas race. Can't wait for Brian to be there and to see him. I won't be there personally, but I know he will probably be there, and I'm looking forward to his coverage. And then Devontae, hopefully Kyle Busch brings out just a new version of himself, his car, his crew chief, the pit crew, tires, everything they need to sort of be good again.
I think Derek Nealand was quoted last week saying, like, if they finish 35th or run 35th all day, he's going to jump off the spotter stand. So,
Yeah.
things are not going well for that team. So, all right. Phil, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it all. Phil, why don't you tell everyone where they can find your work all week long?
Yeah, it's the Full Tank with Phil podcast. Anywhere you listen, and you can follow me on Instagram for the race day ads at Full Tank Phil, same handle on X as well. And yeah, appreciate everyone in this chat. We're winding down here, and it feels like this is going to be like just like that. Like holy shit, this is over. So trying to enjoy each weekend here as we go by and win some money with you guys, and we'll see how this draft shakes out. So thanks everyone in the comments. This show continues to be a highlight of every week for me. So thank you guys.
Some Tino, where can they find you? Tubi, everywhere. Winning. We're going for 7 in a row. Good Lord. Look at that mustache. Where can they find you?
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate Brian in the chat as always. He's saying go hit the like, thumbs up. Everyone go do so as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm going for 7 wins in a row this weekend. I couldn't have done it without you boys in the draft. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, in which I'll be on there, giving my best bets. Also on Tubi, Friday mornings. Tune into that. All my social media content as well. I'll be trying to produce for you guys. It's been a fun ride. I'm continuing to try to improve, get better, and I hope we can sort of come full circle with that. With the 7th win in a row this weekend, that'd be a new personal best for me. It might be easy as an SVG, and that will be something that I'll gladly take to Vegas looking for 8. So excited for that. Everyone in the chat, Mike Manning, Zach with Team 54, TK, Brian. We had Easton, Big Ross. Oh, wait, I got one Big Ross comment I have to share because I highlighted this as one of my favorite comments of the night. It was during a little conversation, he and Brian were talking about the Roval being in the playoffs, and Big Ross said, there's nothing wrong with the Roval itself, but putting it in the playoffs is like serving cheeseburgers for Thanksgiving. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Big Ross. So shout out to him. Miami Mike was in the chat. Keith, Lee Norton, everyone in here that always, comments and has a good time. I'm going to try to get to all you guys. A lot of scrolling, so appreciate that. Sean McBride was in here to see his logs get picked. That was an awesome moment for us. Devontae in the chat with some good Kyle Busch notes. And I saw some other people in here. Zachary Snow with the Denny Hosevar comment. That's a classic as well. So appreciate you guys. Alfred too. Just everyone in here. If I missed you, comment now so I can get you. But it's awesome every week. And looking forward to the next one and making history this weekend.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, commenting, making this fun, and making this show what it is. Wintherace.info, all the stats, DFS, betting. If you just want to geek out, come into Discord, talk about it. I was talking about this. Let me pull this up. So I'll just mention this on the show if anyone wanted to watch it. I found this documentary last night. Did I text you guys about this?
No.
No? All right. Let me pull this up. So this is on HBO.
Is it the how to win 5 drafts in a row and capture the champ? Okay.
All right. It's Dirty Driving, Thunder Cars of Indiana. It's from 2008, and it's only like an hour long. Definitely worth watching it. If you've ever been to like a local short track or anything like that, I mean, it's a little sad here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but it's an hour long. Definitely worth the watch. Dirty Driving, Thunder Cars of Indiana. Go check it out, and we'll talk about it on the show next week. A lot of fun. I'm hoping someone comments on it next week because it's great. And then you guys got to watch it too and text me as soon as you watch it.
All right.
All right. I'll leave you guys with that. Wintherace.info. You can find much cooler stuff than what I just gave you there. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday nights. Enjoy the race this weekend and good luck.